every election year comes with faces or new faces in Parliament. And these parliamentary candidates are chosen by the people for certain constituencies as a result of their lack of confidence in the previous ones, you could say that, or perhaps disbelief in the other contenders. Now, this 2020 parliamentary and presidential election is no different from others, actually. It has been slightly different. One of such new faces in Parliament is Vincent Assefuor. He won the NPP. He won for the NPP in Otafo in the Ashanti region. Vincent is one of the new faces that will be profiling as we go along. And we're starting with him. Vincent, it's good to have you. Welcome.
Thank you, my dear. How are you?
I'm good, and congratulations. Of course, we're not talking about education, but how has it been since you won the seat?
Well, let me say a very good afternoon to my cherished viewers and to everyone in the Otafo constituency. We've been taking it cool. If you remember, on Monday when we had the elections, around 8:30, the good people of Otafo constituency knew the results as far as parliamentary was concerned. And for that matter, we had to wait for the presidential results to be in. And so we waited till Wednesday when the Electoral Commission finally declared. So it was around that time that we finally jubilated in a modest manner, because the people who also contested alongside myself are good people of Otafo. They are also the sons of the soil, and for that matter, we had to do that in.
It was pretty much a done deal for you, wasn't it, from the beginning?
Well, if you check the architecture of the constituency since 1992, the good people of Otafo constituency, that is Tafo, Pankrono, Adabraka, Inshaeso, has always been loyal to the New Patriotic Party.
So it was a done deal for you?
I felt it, but sometimes, if you don't do your things, well, the people will punish you, and it is evident in some of the constituencies that we've seen across the country. And so even though we were not having any doubt, or we were not oblivious of the fact that we had won already, but we had to also do the hard work so that we will be able to make sure that you widen the gap.
Which is what you seem to have done, 44,000 plus votes, whereas Samudin had about 14,000 votes. There was another lady, by the way.
Yes.
There she is. Which party was she?
GCPP. No, that's
GCPP. GCPP there. What do you think worked for you, apart from the fact that you stood on the ticket of the NPP, and because this seat has consistently been won by the party?
Well, if you check the number of registrants in 2016, we had about 76,000 people registered in the Otafo constituency. Dr. Antonio Kutose polled a little over 44,000 in 2016.
Okay.
Unfortunately for us, when we were registering in 2020, we had about 64,000, which means that there's a drop of about 12,000 voters. Now, a number of things account for that reduction. Quite a number of people who were leaving the constituency, because if you come to Otafo constituency as we speak, very difficult for you to be able to get a land to build or something like that. So anybody who now feels that he's better off and want to leave, rather moves to places like Sepe, Brookroom, and the other places. And so the drop affected the general elections in Otafo constituency. However, I polled 42,000 out of the 64,000, which means that we were short of about 2,000 as compared to 2016. However, if you do the analysis very well, if in 2016 we had 76,000 voters, and Dr. Antonio Kutose polled 44,000, and in 2020 we had 64,000, and I polled about 42,000, then clearly you could see that if we had the 76,000, we could have been able to do better. And so
I see the analysis you're trying to make is that you've got the people on your side, and I hope so. But at the end of the day, the impact of your work is what the people are looking forward to. Hopefully, it's not just about the party. What is the plan? What is your plan to, first of all, address the concerns or the issues that persist in this area? And if you can give us those issues, list them in, let's say, 3 blocks for us. How do you intend to deal with those in Parliament?
Well, I will deal with about 3 issues. One will be on health matters. The second will be on education, and the other probably on entrepreneurship. Now, when I worked in the constituency, I made sure that I speak to every Tom, Dick, and Harry who was interested in engaging me. Now, one of the serious issues, or if you like, crucial issues that I encountered was the fact that everybody wanted to make sure that there is this maternity block in the Old Tafo Government Hospital. That was commenced by Dr. Antonia Kotose in 2007. Now, when the NPP left government, at the time that he was leaving, it was about 80%. When he left, the building has been there without any sort of addition whatsoever to it. And so the good people of Old Tafo constituency has always been on the neck of every or any parliamentary candidate, whether it be in the NPP or the NDC. In fact, it was very critical as far as our manifestos were concerned.
So the Old Tafo Hospital?
Old Tafo Government Hospital.
Government Hospital.
There is a maternity block.
Your plan is to finish it?
Absolutely. But if you check the parliamentary Hansard, I think in November, you realize that a loan has been secured from Czech Republic, that finances shouldn't be a problem as far as the completion of the maternity block in Old Tafo is concerned. So
that's a project you're going to finish?
You have to follow it
within what time?
Within about 2-3 years, we should finish it.
I see. We'll be here to
because the finances are ready. We've been able to secure the funds from Czech Republic. So it's one thing that, in terms of health, we will be able to do.
You talked about education.
Well,
because you work at the education ministry.
We have worked with the education ministry for quite some time, and quite a number of the people, as far as education is concerned, are motivated, especially because they found one of their own to have been elevated to the level of a PRO of the Ministry of Education. And so one thing that you want to do, apart from inspiring them, is to also ensure that people who are also in the Old Tafo constituency will be able to get to a level that you are. And so poverty should not be an issue for anybody not to be able to get access as far as tertiary education is concerned.
So what's the plan? Some scholarship scheme?
Apart from the scholarship scheme, you need to make sure that you actually engage them for them to choose proper or better courses that will suit them. Because you see, if students going to school, the fact that the person...
I just want to address, I see that you're breaking it down, but I just want to address them in blocks. Yes. So you're looking at in health, in terms of health, you're looking at the Old Tafo Government Hospital and completing it because the funds have been secured. Absolutely. So that's a done deal. We're talking about the education. You said in terms of education, you said apart from scholarship schemes, you're looking... What you're describing sounds to me like mentorship.
Absolutely.
Okay, so mentorship that provides some guidance for the youth, there. But you can provide the guidance, but if they don't have the money to keep themselves in school, and if it's not about free SHS, which they might get through freely.
Don't forget that as part of the NPP's manifesto, the government put in it that we are now going to ensure that there's free tuition at the level of the tertiary education.
So what is your plan for your constituency as far as that's concerned? Because I've run out of time, briefly
I would make sure that because it is the responsibility of the Member of Parliament to ensure that there's some amount of betterment in the lives of his people, I will make sure that there are scholarship schemes for their people. Apart from that, Dr. Antonia Kotose also left a library in the constituency. We will have to modernize it and add an e-library to it so that students, or if you like, the youth, especially in the constituency, who would want to have access to books, as far as e-library is concerned, is also being achieved.
Okay, now, this is probably my last question. I just want you to put it together for me, for those who are in Old Tafo today, who are expecting you to be in Parliament for them in the next Parliament. If you were to meet them, what is that summary of your intent for them? That what can you say is your intent for them in summary? Well,
I think that we will need to build up a society that will be a harmonized one, of course, because the aspirations of the good people of Old Tafo constituency will have to be seen in the bills and policy considerations that we made in Parliament. And for that matter, this is the basic responsibility of a Member of Parliament. And I am promising them that the aspirations, the hopes, and the visions, if you like, the missions of the good people of Old Tafo constituency is seen in all bills that is made in Parliament, policy considerations that is made by state-owned enterprises, or if you like, the government by itself. The aspirations of the good people of Old Tafo constituency will be seen in them, and I promise that.
Well, we'll be here. It will be a long 4-year journey. We'll be here to remind you of the things that you have said, and I'm sure that Old Tafo, the way we've seen Ghanaian votes these days, I'm sure they will know what to do.
There's nothing like stronghold anymore.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Yes.
Well, you're talking about Hohoi, but anyway, if we had that time, we'll probably be able to talk a bit more about this. Vincent Esefo is a member of parliament elect for Otafo. We're talking about the new faces going into parliament and what they present. We'll be talking more of them as we go along.